Hey, it's Marty Boardman here with Fix and Flip Hub and author of the book Foreclosure Secrets. And in this video, I'm going to explain why you need a title report to buy foreclosures and how to get one. So you want to buy a foreclosure either directly from the homeowner or at the auction, which sometimes they're called foreclosure auctions or trustee sales or sheriff sales. Regardless of how you're going to do it, you must have a title report. The reason you would need one if you're buying a house directly from a homeowner in foreclosure prior to the auction is you need to make sure that the foreclosing lender is in first lien position, and you want to make sure that there aren't any other second mortgages or credit card judgments or liens that could affect your ability to buy the property. Because if you're going into the deal thinking that the homeowner only has a first mortgage, then you get the title report back and you find out there's a second, third, or fourth, or fifth lien on the property. There may not be enough margin in the property to buy it from the homeowner. And of course, if you're going to buy it at auction, you want to make sure, and the title report will reveal, if the foreclosing lender is in first lien position. If you're planning on bidding on the house at the auction and there's second, third, or fourth, or fifth mortgages, you don't really need to worry too much about them as long as the mortgage lender that's foreclosing is in first lien position, because those subordinate liens are all going to get wiped out as long as they're named in the lis pendens or the judgment or whatever document it is that your county uses to initiate the foreclosure proceedings. And I'll get more into that here in a second. But let me just show you what one of these title reports, and in some places they're called letter reports or owner reports or preliminary title reports. Let me show you what one looks like so you get an idea of how to kind of decipher what's in these and what things should scare you away and what things should bring you some comfort in knowing you've done your homework. So this is the owner report that I received from a house several months ago we were going to bid on at an auction. There is some personal information here, but I'm not going to worry too much about that because this is a public document. Anybody can get this information. The first page of this owner report or letter report is the tax information on the property, which is important because if you're going to buy the house from the homeowner in foreclosure or if you're going to bid on an auction and the taxes are not paid, guess who has to pay those? You do. If the property taxes are unpaid and you buy the house from the homeowner in foreclosure or at the auction, you're responsible now for those property taxes. But in this form, you'll see there's an outstanding balance of zero. The property taxes are paid in full through 2020. So that's good. This is another second page of the report just showing how much taxes are charged. And again, there is zero balance on those that are owed. That's enough with the summary. Usually the next page you're going to get is the actual deed. This is really a chronological history of the ownership of this house. So the first form you're going to see is the deed where the person who's being foreclosed on took title to the house. So this is the deed or the title to the house, and this Francis Kaminsky took title on January 27, 2014. That's the day this Francis became the owner of the property. And here is the mortgage on the house. So the mortgage was taken out on that same day. Usually the deed gets recorded first, then boom, immediately after that is the mortgage. And the mortgage balance is $106,265. So this is the mortgage on the house. That's the very next thing that's recorded. Is there anything else? Here's a loan rider, just basically says that let's see, rehabilitation rider. So it looks like they took a mortgage out along with a rider so they can take some extra money out if they need to rehab the house. So it looks like they sold the mortgage to somebody else. This M&T Bank sold the mortgage, or maybe they're the ones who bought the mortgage. It's hard to say. Doesn't really matter. When you see an assignment, all that means is that the lender assigned the loan or sold the mortgage on the house to another bank. So that's it. That's all there is. And then the very next thing recorded against the house is the lis pendens, which is the document in Wisconsin that they use to initiate foreclosure proceedings. You can see M&T Bank is the plaintiff. That's the bank. The defendant is the borrower, which is Francis Kaminsky, and Jane Doe must not have been married. And Landmark Credit union. That could mean that Landmark Credit Union, the reason they're named as a defendant is Landmark could be a second mortgage holder. They could also have an interest in the house. And it's very important if you're going to bid on a house at auction that you know if there are other defendants, that means there are other creditors if you live in a judicial state. So that's what we got here in the lis pendens. So you'll see that looks like another judgment on the house. This is from their court records of $1,882. You don't have to worry about that if you're bidding on the house at the auction. That'll get wiped out. However, if you were buying a pre-foreclosure, just know that you're going to have to deal with this $1,882 judgment on top of the mortgage. Let's see if there's anything else here. Nope, just some filing fees for that particular judgment that was recorded against the owner of the property. There we go. It's a duplicate of that or another report to that. And it looks like that's it. I don't see anything else here. This is the actual court case for the foreclosure, M&T Bank versus Francis D. Kaminsky. You can see it's a civil case and it's a foreclosure of mortgage. That's it. That's all there else is here. So you got the civil judgment you got the mortgage itself, the judgment at $1,882, and that is all we've got. So let's just say you wanted to buy this house from the homeowner prior to the auction. Now, I don't even remember what the house was worth, but it looks like the mortgage balance on it from 2014 is $106,000. There's an $1,882 judgment on the house. Let's say the house is worth $200,000. Well, you could probably make a deal then with this homeowner to buy it because there's about $80,000, $90,000 in margin, of course, depending upon what kind of repairs need to be done at the house. But for the most part, this title report is pretty clean, just a first mortgage and a small judgment. So if you're making a deal with the homeowner in foreclosure prior to the auction, and it's worth, say, $200,000, $250,000, you got plenty of margin there to maybe offer the seller of the house some cash on top of paying off their mortgage or bringing their mortgage current or whatever deal you work. If you were going to buy this house at the courthouse steps, you're also safe because the first lien position holder, the first mortgage holder, is the one foreclosing. All there is a tiny little judgment that will get wiped out at the auction. So now you can see why having a title report is so important, why you must have this if you're going to buy foreclosures, regardless if it's a pre-foreclosure or if it's at the auction. Now, some of these title reports can get very, very messy, and you could see someone who's got a first mortgage and they've got credit card judgments and medical liens and IRS tax liens, and that's where it gets very difficult to decipher. And you're going to want to make sure that you've got somebody at a title company who can kind of walk you through everything that's there and let you know what kind of landmines could get you in trouble. Because again, if you're bidding on a house and it's a second lien position holder that's foreclosing, that could get really messy and expensive, and you could really step into it. Or if you buy a house that's got an IRS tax lien that has a 6-month long redemption period. So again, you're going to want to go to a title company in your area to get this information. Pay them $50, $75, $100 is all it should take. May take a few days, so make sure you get this done very quickly, especially if you've got an auction where you're going to be bidding and the auction's coming up in the next week or two. Make sure you get that report. Then this will help you avoid making a very expensive mistake. So I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, grab a copy of my book, Foreclosure Secrets. You can do it by clicking on the link in this video description. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, just click there in the comments section and you can get a free copy of the book. And I'll take you through and explain how this is all done, and again, get into more detail on how you can find foreclosures or find homeowners in foreclosure, how you can negotiate with homeowners in foreclosure prior to the auction, and how you can bid on them safely at the courthouse steps, and how you find this information. So I appreciate you watching here today. I'm Marty Boardman with Fix and Flip Hub and author of the book Foreclosure Secrets. We will talk real soon.